Reports story by Hitoki 72. AME no Kaiteki-SA means comfort in the rain. Dot. It was semestral break and the students of UA were scheduled to spend their quality time with their family. While the class 1A and B students went straight to their homes early, Izuku was scheduled to go home tomorrow, so he decided to spend his time talking with All Might about his quirk training, buying gifts for his mom and visit air. Report story by Hitoki 72. AME no Kaiteki-SA means comfort in the rain. Dot. It was semestral break and the students of UA were scheduled to spend their quality time with their family. While the class 1A and B students went straight to their homes early, Izuku was scheduled to go home tomorrow, so he decided to spend his time talking with All Might about his quirk training, buying gifts for his mom and visit Eri-chan at her room. Everything was fine until the rain began to fall into a gentle rhythm. Izuku hated the rain. He really hated that rain. Reminds him the time when the moment news of his quirkless nature spread, his world turned upside down. His mother cried when she didn't know what to do or how to cheer her son after she saw her son suffered or prisoned himself inside his room. He lost all of his friends, his teachers lost all basic respect for him, and everyone treated him as either frail or less than dirt. Bakugo even calls him Deku, simply means worthless puppet. When the rain was pouring down, Izuku remembered being curled up under his blanket crying as he wondered if he'd end up on the list of harakiri. That was precisely when he understood that being quirkless meant everyone turning against him. And it hadn't taken long to experience this firsthand. As he grows older, Izuku became an introvert and a loner. His only outlet for happiness is to engage in all otaku events, All Might in his hero data analysis notebook. After he fought Bakugo and his playmates, Izuku became weak, timid and unsociable. This made it easy for the kids to often bully and pick on him throughout the years, and soon enough Bakugo started to as well. He was quick to change up his act once they were around his parents, which only confused Izuku more and more. The shy, but kind boy act would be replaced with a bully who picked and laughed at everything about Izuku the minute they walked on school grounds. It wasn't long until Midoriya realized this but had no choice but to let it happen. By middle school he was still at that awkward body size, being picked on and teased by anything he did. Bakugo was no help as he too was involved with some of the bullying that went on. Some students went as far as hiding his umbrella or other personal belongings and even encouraging some of Bakugo's friends to fight him in the bathroom or alleyways on the way home. Now, his life has changed after he met All Might, the number one hero in Japan. He started to work out with his quirk and excelled all his academics and school activities. He and Bakugo became friends and Class 1A became his family. But every time the rain downpours, his bad memories of his past won't go away. Izuku woke up early next morning. It was 4 o'clock and he still felt drowsy due to the sound of the rain. The rain is still downpouring and he wonders if he can able go home. Rubbing the sleep off his eyes, he slowly sat up, looking around his room full collections of AM merchandises. Being UA student, his pro-hero teachers, the circle of friendship and his hero license that he'd passed few months ago are the reality of his situation beginning to sink in. He remembers Iida, Shoto, Bakugo, Kirishima and other classmates left yesterday and wonders if Uraraka, his first and closest friend, still stays inside her dorm room. He gets up, changes his AM printed pajamas into white t-shirt and black jersey shorts and walks out of his room. As he reached the emptied common area, he went straight at the kitchen. He took instant ramen noodles and electric kettle pot. While cooking his ramen, he grabbed a large water bottle from the fridge and transferred a little amount into his small one. He took a gulp and then closed the lid and placed large one back inside. Picking up his small one, he moved towards the lift when his eyes flicked towards the main door. Who could that be? He thought as he turned off the stove and walked towards the common area to inspect the issue. His one for all roaring beneath his body and ready to burst out if needed. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Convicted Hearts 4090 like my other story but ILI longer. Return of Mokuden discontinued 3.6K45 This story is officially up for adoption. If anyone is interested, message me or comment on the story. Free. Oni Shots 150K3K This is a collections of free X readers. Requests on this are now closed. After all, Omfluke 11.4K802. Will edit once I'm free. N. This is a work of fiction, and any similarity with other works is purely coincidental. Excuse grammatical errors and misspellings. Eng. The hero who sings with a smile 40K370 Hi guys, this is my first story I write on Wattpad. I hope you like it. Her prince from the underworld, half demon is. 0.26.3K462 It's basically the same story as my succubus Momo X Deku story. I know, real original but hey, now you guys get a Deku from the other side of the tracks. Mirko X Shy Male Reader 176K 1.1 Key. Don't own MHA. I hope you enjoy the story I made. He peeked from the slight gap and instantly recognized the silhouette of the person in front of him. A beautiful, brunette-haired girl sat at the bench outside the ledge of the building while she watched and listened calmly the surroundings outside of the dorm building. Without thinking, he swung open the door. Uraraka-san. He calls her as he walks towards his best friend. Uraraka was startled as she turned around to the person who calls her name. Her reaction shows that she isn't aware of how much time has passed since she arrived outside. She wore baby pink sleeveless and red and white striped shorts. She immediately swiveled only to face with a concerned Izuku. Ah, Deku-kun. Ohio. She replied in a relaxed tone but Izuku is still worried. Ohio, Uraraka-san. What are you doing here so early? He asked in a concerned tone. To reassure him, Uraraka smiled as she looked up the sky. I like watching the rain. Rain. He seemingly bought her answer and stepped down to sit beside her, still at a respectable distance. Yes, rain. I really like the rain. It reminds me of something. She replied in a nervous tone. She remembers that a while ago, he would get all flustered up and even ask for her permission to keep her company. But seeing him now makes her heart beat faster. Now, he becomes more mature and he understands that he's wanted and his presence is very much appreciated. Ah, he replies as he stares at her watching the rain fall. He can't help but smile and glance up at the dark cloudy sky. It's peaceful to watch as the rain continues to downpour. You know, Deku-kun. When I was younger, my father would tell me stories while watching the rain. Uraraka glanced back to Izuku. Do you want to hear one? Izuku nods in approval as she stares back at the sky. There was a girl who lived in the clouds. And when she cried, she made it rain. Uraraka narrates as she watches the rain fall down. The other people who lived in the clouds bullied the girl. They said no one liked her rain. That it was dumb that she cried heavily and made it rain so much. They'd call her all sorts of bad names, making fun of her for being dreary, a worthless, childish, or a crybaby. The girl started to believe their words and she did her best not to cry ever again, so the other cloud people wouldn't hurt her. But the people in the cloud still bullied the girl and she had enough. She went down to earth, to find a place to stay and to meet new friends there. There, she met a boy who was warm, sweet and kind. A brave boy who could make a light and would make anyone who was mean to her go away. The Cry girl didn't know his name, so she calls him, Light Boy. The boy didn't know her name too. So, he calls her the Cry Princess. Izuku lifts his head and stares at Uraraka. So the princess is a damsel in distress. Does she has a quirk? Why did she? Izuku was cut off his muttering as she gave him a silent sign, SSSH. You have to listen first, Deku-kun. Oh, okay. He replied, Gomenasai, please go on. Uraraka smiles and stares at the dark cloudy sky. The light boy and the Cry Princess became best friends. The boy always there for the princess if she needs help, but the problem is that the boy told the princess that he was worried about the rain. Without rain, the flowers wouldn't grow and the creatures living in the earth would go thirsty. The light boy made the princess realize that her rain was important. The princess worries that he might not like her if she cries, but the boy told her that it doesn't matter if she cries or laughs or mad, he will always by her side forever. She needs to cry as the world needed her rain. They watch the rain hit a puddle under the lamppost light, making ripples and waves. Midoriya remained his silence as Uraraka continues her tale. The Cry Princess told the boy the reason why she made it rain because the cloud people bullied her. She vowed to make it rain again, but she was afraid of the other cloud people might bully her. Then, the light boy hugged the girl and promised to protect her from the mean cloud people forever. As decided, the princess took him up to the clouds using her powers to float, but the light boy confessed to her as he realized that he really loved her. As they reached the clouds, the princess cried and fulfilled the promise she made for him. Uraraka smiles and continues to narrate. The princess cried whenever she wanted to, but when the cloud people came to bully her once more, the light boy hugged her and used his light powers to protect her. The clouds are scared to the light came from a boy. They back away and never return. Few years later, the Cry Princess and the Light Boy became adults and continued to love each other. They vowed that they always be together forever. Uraraka glares back at Izuku with a warm smile on her face. You know, Deku-kun. After every storm in your life, there is a rainbow. No matter how long it takes to show up, you need to go through storms to grow and get to a better place. After you have suffered much, things do get better. A rainbow is reminder that things will be better after you are done battling a storm. So Deku-kun, if you feel alone and you need someone to share your problems, I'll always be there for you, and if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'll be here for you to wipe away your tears. Izuku didn't know what to say. It's like the story was related to him. Like a rain, it always brought miserable and depression in his life for the past 12 years. Now, he fully understands that there's a light of hope in every middle of the storm, and once the storm ends, a beautiful rainbow will appear soon. Midoriya sobs as his tears slowly started to fall from his eyes. Deku-kun, are you alright? You're crying. I'm sorry. I'm okay. I like the story you've brought up, it's just, Uraraka-san. I've always related you to a sun and a light. I mean, you're so dazzling all the time. You are also my light of hope and dreams. Thank you so much, Uraraka-san. Deku sobbed and quickly wiped his tears. Dazzling. Light of hope and dreams. She thought as feels her cheeks burning bright pink at his words, but she tries to control it to the best of her ability. Yeah, I like sunny and light, but the rain is just beautiful, isn't it? After every rain, I like how life blooms, the greenery of the nature, and also how creatures become more alive. To be honest, I like the rain because it makes me feel that I'm alive. Midoriya continued to wipe his tears. I never thought that you really liked the rain. As of me, I hate it. It reminds me of my past when Kachan bullied me. But you and Kachan became friends, now you're becoming a true hero, Deku-kun. Yeah, and I noticed in the story that you're kinda like a light boy. And the Cry Princess reminds me of, She smirked as she stared at innocent-looking Izuku. Reminds you of what? He asked in curious look. Of you. Of WHAAA. Izuku shocked and cut off when she suddenly jumps outside the ledge of the building to enjoy the feel of rainy shower from the heavens. Uraraka-san. Don't. You'll get sick. Izuku shouts out in worry, but the twinkling sound of her laughter stuns him into silence. He watches her running around in rain with a small smile on his face before she turns her attention back to him. Come, cry Prince. Let's have some fun. She yells and chuckles as she waves her hand to invite him, but he shakes his head in denial. She pouts in response and he gives in. He smiles and laughs. He never even stood a chance. He removed his red sneakers and began to walk towards her. I'm coming, light princess. As he steps out in rain, the droplets falling over his eyes make him close them to savor the feel. A shiver runs down his spine as a slight wind blows and chills him up, but his breath hitches when a warm touch engulfs his hand. His green eyes open up to stare at the drenched, shy brown ones. Her wet clothes revealed her underwear. Her face is covered in tiny droplets as they run down. She looks so alluring and dazzling that it actually drives him breathless. Everything he sees from her was absolutely stunning. He raised a hand and gently brushed a lock of wet brown hair behind her ear, barely processing the curious gaze she was now giving him. Uraraka's already flushed cheeks began to turn a darker shade as Izuku's hand rested on it. Deku-kun? She asked, her voice barely audible. Izuku let out a hum and met her gaze. It took 10 seconds for Izuku to realize the position they were currently in. Sorry, he exclaimed, retracting his hand. I don't. Izuku felt his face begin to heat up as he began to search for words. I didn't sorry. Izuku wanted to punch his head for being such an idiot. He hadn't meant to do that, it just happened. Ochako probably hated him now. Probably thought he was going to take advantage of her. Probably thought. A cute sigh and giggle escaped Ochako, as she reached her own hand up. Don't apologize, Deku-kun. It's fine. You're not mad? Asked Izuku. Deku-kun, you literally just touched my face. Right. And besides, I wouldn't have mind. Izuku's heart skipped a beat. Mind what? Why you know, said Ochako, her blush deepening as her eyes flicked downwards for a moment and, oh. Izuku flustered and felt his brain short-circuit. A panicked look crossed Ochako's face. Deku, Deijobu, are you okay? She asked, eyebrows furrowing. You're all stiff. Did I go too far? Ochako made a move to step away. Sorry, I'll just. Ochako's sentence died in her throat as Izuku's hands once again cupped her cheek, and pulled her face towards Izuku's. Their first kiss was sweet and magical. It was short and something worth remembering, which was all Izuku needed. After what couldn't have been more than 10 seconds, Izuku jumped away, saving himself from any possible embarrassment. His face turned a bright red upon seeing Ochako's dazed look and averted his gaze. Uraraka-san, I like why. His confession was cut off as Uraraka leaned forward to return his kiss. This time, it became more passionate. For the first time of his life, he felt happy and loved. Uraraka-san. Without you, nothing seems to matter like it once did. Nothing tastes the same anymore. Every cloud is full of rain. All my steps feel like a strain. And every hour every day, my heart is pure of pain. You're what gave my life purpose and light. Now, Izuku started to like the rain. Whatever obstacles he has, they always be together, standing side by side. Who knew that the rain could bring two teenagers so close together? This phrase came from Quirk and Love. Where stories live. Discover now.